Hi, this is Kevin Deal from Upscale Audio, and today we're going to talk about the Lumin X1. I own two of these. I have one of them in my reference system. This unit came out of my bedroom, and I got to get this video done because I got to get back in there because I didn't have it over the weekend. And you know what that means, right? No music in the bedroom means no smoochy face. And I mean, come on. You know how it goes, right? I mean, now I was thinking about that when I was on my way down here. I was thinking about the days over my life and having set a romantic tone in my home. And I was thinking about, you know, back in the day, I used to play certain kinds of music and I really thought it was kind of cool. And some of the stuff I played was really super lame. I mean, I don't know what. In fact, this is what I want to know. What about you, the men out there and the women? Why don't you tell me if you have any music that you used to pick out that set the romantic mood, and if you ever picked out anything that, looking back on it, it was kind of lame. I mean, maybe the B-52s doing Rock Lobster. Or maybe Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night, right? You remember that one, don't you? I mean, did you ever see the video for that song? It's gonna be alright, 'cause I love you, girl. Ain't nobody gonna stop us now. Look, I always tell you the way it is. I used to play Gino Vanelli, Powerful People. That album, I thought, kind of had a sexy tone back in right around, I guess, the late 70s, 1979 or something like that. You know, I'd wear my platform shoes and just being so cool. All I can do is to pray. So, what is this product about? What is Lumin about? And why are they so good? And why did it compel me to buy one myself? And I'm going to tell you something. Lumin is a real company. This is a real manufacturer. If you look at Lumin is a company that actually makes products for other companies. One of the most expensive and well-known brands in the world, in the digital realm, uses Lumin for their streaming technology, for their streaming circuitry. And there's a reason for that. If you buy a Lumin streamer and plug it into your favorite DAC, it will make it sound more Lumin-ish. If you get a U1 or a U1 Mini, I'm telling you, it's gonna change the way that your system sounds. Don't use a computer. They sound like crap. I got these guys that are modifying these Mac Minis. I mean, I guess you can get away with doing stuff like that, but this is an all-in-one answer that is going to absolutely rock your world from a company that believes in parts and engineering, and that's what I love so much. Look, I call this the March of the Propeller Heads, right? Just like with Sutherland Engineering, you know, Ron Sutherland, I love that guy. He's a great guy, but he's like Mr. Poo-Too, right? And it's the same thing here, and that's because their parent company is Pixel Magic. Pixel Magic is a company that works in commercial broadcasting, for God's sakes. And if you're able to do that and pull that off, you're going to be able to make a network music player because you can throw a lot of assets at it, and that's what they have done. You know, and I'll tell you something else. You know, you can use. I got to say something else about this. You know, since I have gotten this thing, with all Lumin products, they're a company that does over-the-air updates, but they really do them. There's some companies that promise to be future-proof, but then they never do anything about it. This company does. And in fact, they have added something called lead processing to this product. What is that? Well, look at a company like Solution. Have you ever heard of that brand? They make products $20,000 on up to over $70,000. They use lead processing, but you don't have to spend $70,000 to get that. Volume controls are very important. I've already said that to you in my other videos. Some companies in preamplifiers, they will use chips with great, you know, varying degrees of successfulness. Some people, because sometimes chips can sound like chips. Music streamers, D-to-A converters, they are famous for using crap sometimes, and that's because they might use a volume control that operates in the digital domain and throws away bits. What does that mean to you? That means that as you turn the volume down, you're starting to lose resolution. And that is not the case with Lumin. If you're using the Lumin native software to control this, it comes with lead processing enabled. And that is in every product they make, all the way down to their entry-level stuff. And lead processing, it's a company in France, and they are known for creating a way to attenuate volume without bastardizing the signal, without ruining it. And it absolutely works. And many Lumin products, a couple years ago, they didn't have that. But they did over-the-air updates that allowed people to get it. The other thing about Lumin is you're going to find out they don't have big, colorful displays. It's the march of the propeller heads, right? They don't want that because in Lumin's estimation, big displays that look really, really cool can create noise. So instead, they have an itsy-bitsy little display because you're not going to use it anyway. And in fact, in my home, I don't have any of the displays on. They also do not believe in built-in Wi-Fi because, again, this is about the difference. Look, dynamic range is the difference between light and dark, loud and soft. So to do it the best way you can, you got to get the soft as low as you can. Drop the noise, drop the noise, drop the noise. And that's what they have done. So no Wi-Fi built in. If you want to hook this up, you're going to hook it up with an Ethernet cable. But that's not a big deal. We have told people about if you don't have the ability to do it, there's a couple of different adapters. And in fact, we've gotten hip to a new one lately. We're going to put links to them on our website. So there are ways for you to be able to do it. And then you're able to even go beyond that. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute because this has an optical LAN input. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then lastly, they don't believe in drives being built in because they don't want to have a bunch of digital circuitry or little spinning motor and none of that stuff or the power supply source. They don't want any of it to be near the sensitive digital processing and the analog circuitry that's built in. And I'm going to show you why, because when you see inside here, I'm going to show you the coffins, and that's what makes this thing so special. So let's go to the power supply first, because talking about sporting wood, right? When I'm in the bedroom, my wife said, "What turns you on?" I go, "Oh my God, Laura, what turns me on? A dual mono linear power supply." So allow me to undress this for you right now. Look at that power supply. Oh, two big toroidal power transformers. I'm not sure, but I'm going to guesstimate just this power supply weighs, I don't know, somewhere close to 20 pounds. And it is done the right way, right? And it's got a big long extension cord on it so you can keep this tucked away from the sensitive analog streamer here. I love linear power supplies. But manufacturers can't use them, because they can get the little dongle thingies, and you know what? Those work fine too, as long as you keep them away. But this is a top of the line product, so it should have this. Now, and by the way, look at this. Look at this metal. Look at these transformers. Look at the way this is all billet aluminum. It is just super, super, super badass. Now let's look at this. I really do feel like I'm undressing this right now. I feel like offering it a glass of Cavassier. Oh, baby. Oh my God, look at this. All right. This is the coffin. What does that mean? If you look over here, you're going to see that the power cord comes in. It is kept completely separate. And so you have a separate coffin for the digital circuitry and a separate one for the analog circuitry. Now, what's cool about that is over here in the digital end, you're going to have, of course, you're going to have a USB, which is bidirectional. You're going to have an Ethernet cable going in. And then, of course, not of course, actually. This is what's really cool. This one has an optical LAN. What does that mean? Look, Ethernet cables, that's what everyone's used to using, and Ethernet cables are cool. If you can hardwire this bad boy, more power to you. But what if there was an even better way to do it? What if there was? Optical. That way, and we can show you how to do this. There are optical converters that you can get for your system at home. That way you keep even more noise away from the sensitive circuitry inside this. Oh my God, I love it. Now, then we go over here from the digital section over to the analog section. Now, what I love about this is you're going to notice a lack of great big hunking capacitors, blah, 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 blah. This is a fully balanced analog circuit, right? It's a fully balanced design. Look at these transformers. I'm going to read out a number for you so my engineering friends out there can look it up. This is the Lundall LL7401. It is a 5-section transformer. It is not just a regular bifilar transformer. What does that mean? There are little tricks that they can do in the design of this analog circuit that will really bring that to light, and why this transformer is so expensive. Why did they do this? They wanted to create a digital product, and you don't have to take my word for it. Go read the reviews of the people in the industry, or go look at anybody that has bought one of these. The good news is that digital is technically correct, right? That's the good news. What's the bad news? Digital is technically correct. And what we're looking for here is a way to create a sense of life in digital music. And you can do that by, of course, having a wonderful tube system. But if you can do it in a music streamer, this is one way to do it. These transformers, they wanted to use the best that they could, and this is it. And I'm telling you something, it just makes it sound amazing. Oh, I cannot wait to get this thing back home. Now, when you have an analog section that is that good, using these incredible Lundall transformers, and you have lead processing for the volume control, you can get rid of the preamp. Plug this into your power amp, either balanced or single-ended, and it's going to rock your world. If you like to use Roon, you can still do it. You just won't get the benefit of lead processing. Now, if you have a preamp because you have other sources, don't worry about it. Take your preamp, set it to unity gain, we'll help you understand what that is, and let this do all the work for volume up and volume down. It is the way to go. Now, this Lumin uses their own app. And the Lumin app is absolutely badass. It has lead processing built into it, and I love it. But I have to say, I also love Roon. My wife, and why do I love Roon? Because me and my wife, Miss Laura, we will sometimes lay in bed and we just wander through music, and she accuses me of having a bromance with a guy named Stephen Erlewine. And he is an album music reviewer that writes for Roon. And I've got to admit, I got a bromance thing going. I just love the way he explains music and how this album compares to that one. And sometimes we'll just lay there and just kind of wander and go through stuff. And I just find that stuff so interesting. So look, what this is really is a one-box solution that's going to give you, without having to go through a lot of muss and fuss, and I need to get this super bitchin' streamer and then I'm going to pick it out with. This is from a company that gives you a solution that is all in one, that you don't have to futz with. I'm not going to get into all the technical stuff about, you know, what it'll play back, because at this price point, it goddamn well better do everything. It better do everything. But it's not just that. This is a company that is set up for the future. There's going to be a couple of new music services coming out in the very near term. I'm not supposed to talk about it apparently, but I will. And these guys are already set up for it. It's going to be just a matter of an over-the-air flipping a switch, and they're going to be set up. And that's because, I don't know. I mean, everybody that buys a Lumin product loves it. So look. If you buy one of these and you don't love it, just send it back to us. We'll refund every penny of your money. But before you do, you got to keep in mind something. This is one of the finest built products in the industry. And the better the product, the longer the break-in. It's going to be about a 500-hour break-in on one of these to really get it into its groove. But I've found that with all the very best stuff that we sell, whether it's tube components or loudspeakers, you got to give it time and you got to let it kind of get into its groove. But when you do, it is worth it. I love these things more now than the day that I put them in, and that's why I just want to get this blasted thing back up to my house. Go to our website. Talk to one of my non-commissioned salespeople. We got some great digital people. If you end up needing support after the sale, I cannot make your router work. Well, I can't do that stuff. But if you get your router working and you need some help, we got people here that will help you that are not on commission. So it's not like they're going to say, oh, I don't want to help you and run off to another call to make a buck. They get paid the same no matter what. And in fact, we are hiring now. So please remember, if you are an audio nerd, but you got to have a lot of experience, please send your resume to info@upscaleaudio.com because we want to hire the best, and we are, we're looking for great people, and I know that everyone that works here, I think they love it. So go to our website, contact one of my great salespeople. I promise you, at Upscale Audio, we're going to treat your system like it's ours. Thanks.